Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you always stay healthy, and thanks for watching this channel. Today we will talk about U.S. Navy ballistic missile submarines. Gibraltar visit is first in over 2 decades. Following the arrival of the USS Alaska in Gibraltar yesterday, the U.S. Navy has confirmed that this is the first time in more than 20 years that an Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine, or SSBN, has visited the UK Royal Navy's base in this British overseas territory. The service has also now said that this extremely rare stopover was a previously scheduled port visit for logistics purposes. The Navy had officially announced that USS Alaska had sailed into Gibraltar yesterday, itself an unusual bit of publicity regarding the operational activities of one of its SSBNs, which generally seek to avoid any kind of attention during their nuclear deterrent patrols. Navy Lieutenant Commander Linnea Rotklein, a spokesperson for U.S. Naval Forces Europe-Africa/US 6th Fleet, told the War Zone that this was the first time an Ohio-class SSBN had paid a visit to Her Majesty's naval base Gibraltar since 1999. It's unclear which of the 18 Ohios traveled there some 22 years ago. It is important to point out that this does not count visits to Gibraltar since then by any of the 4 Ohios that were converted into guided missile submarines, or SSGNS. These are truly multi-mission platforms that have robust conventional strike, special operations forces support, intelligence gathering, and command and control capabilities. USS Alaska, SSBN 732, conducted a previously scheduled brief stop for logistics at the port of Gibraltar on June 28, 2021, Lieutenant Commander Rotklein added. Alaska is on a routine patrol in the U.S. 6th Fleet area of operations in support of U.S. national security interests in Europe and Africa. This brief stop strengthens cooperation between the United States and the United Kingdom Gibraltar. Rotklein did not elaborate on what the submarine's logistics needs were that required it to stop in Gibraltar. The scheduled nature of the stop could indicate this was simply a visit to unload various supplies. It is also worth noting that other types of American submarines do regularly stop at this Royal Navy base, which can accommodate nuclear-powered vessels for various reasons, including for maintenance. A picture, seen below, of Alaska at Her Majesty's Naval Base Gibraltar does show it venting what appears to be steam from its sail. However, this is completely normal for nuclear-powered submarines, especially those in port, and is associated with the boat's auxiliary diesel generators. That image and others also show a Mexafloat barge loaded with shipping containers along the opposite side of the submarine's hull from the pier. It's not entirely clear what the purpose of this is, but it seems highly likely that it is a force protection measure. Modern military submarines, in general, typically have significant force protection requirements while sailing on the surface, where they are limited in their ability to maneuver, have limited close-in defenses, and are generally more vulnerable to a variety of threats overall. This goes double for Alaska, which is not only nuclear-powered, but is almost certainly carrying dozens of nuclear weapons. Each of the Navy's Ohio SSBNs can carry up to 20 Trident D5 submarine-launched ballistic missiles. Each Trident D5 can carry up to 14 individual W-76-1 or W-88 nuclear warheads, with estimated yields of around 100 kilotons and 475 kilotons, respectively. Various arms control agreements between the United States and Russia mean that these missiles typically only have 5 or 6 installed at any one time. In addition, since January 2020, at least some Ohio SSBNs have been conducting patrols with some number of Trident D5 armed with lower-yield W-76-2. These warheads, which are believed to have yields of only around 5 kilotons, are particularly controversial, with proponents arguing that they give the US government valuable additional deterrent flexibility, while critics say that they increase the likelihood of a nuclear exchange. With all of this in mind, it is hard to see this visit, scheduled or not, as simply a logistical matter. As already noted, an Ohio SSBN visiting Gibraltar is an exceedingly rare occurrence. In fact, the very first time one of these boats sailed into port there was when USS Maryland arrived in 1995. This was also the first time one of them had ever sailed into the Mediterranean Sea. An individual who shared a picture from that stopover on Reddit last December wrote that it was a show of force. We were supposed to sneak through the straits undetected. However, due to a medevac, we had to alter plans. Even without the unexpected need to get a seriously ill or injured crew member off the boat, it can be tricky for a submerged submarine to get through the highly strategic and heavily trafficked Strait of Gibraltar, which links the Atlantic Ocean, to the west, to the Mediterranean. Alaska's arrival in Gibraltar now comes amid a flurry of other maritime military activity on the part of the Navy, as well as other U.S. allies, and Russia, both in the Mediterranean and the Black Sea. The Russians have been carrying out anti-ship drills at the eastern end of the Mediterranean that have notably involved Tu-22 M3 bombers loaded with anti-ship cruise missiles, and MiG-31K combat jets carrying Kinzhal hypersonic missiles flying from their expanded Khmeimim outpost in Syria, among other aircraft, ships, and submarines. The UK Royal Navy's aircraft carrier Queen Elizabeth, and its multinational strike group, which includes U.S. Marine Corps F-35B Joint Strike Fighters, embarked on board and escorting Allied warships. Just days before Alaska's appearance in Gibraltar, on June 23, the Royal Navy's Type 45 destroyer HMS Defender had an altercation with Russian security forces in the Black Sea off the coast of the Crimean Peninsula, which the Kremlin seized from Ukraine in 2014. The Dutch Navy says that its De Zeven Prevention-class frigate HNLMS Evertsen was also harassed by Russian forces in the same general region a day later. Both of these warships are part of Queen Elizabeth's strike group. Yesterday, U.S. Naval Forces Europe-Africa/US 6th Fleet also kicked off the largest ever iteration of the annual Sea Breeze exercise in the Black Sea, which is focused on Ukraine. A total of 32 countries are participating this year. Russian officials say they are now monitoring this drill, which the Navy says will involve 32 ships and dozens of aircraft.